Yeah, there we go, is the number 68 Mustang
Although,
of Eddie
Byron,
Baton.
you shouldn't call it a Nissan. That's a Datsun Skyline from back in the day.
Yeah, it is quite from the late 80s, early 90s there when they were racing them in West Bank Modifieds. And yeah, the Sabat Batteries car. And behind him, of course, Bruce, I don't need brakes, Evan Taplin, who got himself up into that lovely 5th place. I said earlier on, I can't stop about it. And he's got that bodywork that he's put back on the front of it. It broke in the last race and he had to take it off. But now it's well and truly back on. There's Brian Evans. I see the 44 car. In there is of Nell, that's the Anglia. The 2002 BMW. That's of course of Rowe. He is ahead of Rowley in the Beetle Porsche 917. Gulf colours.
And of course, the two Siroccos will start at the back because one of them finished, Trevor Hutchings and Jonathan Gunn.
And that was a fuel pump cut out again for the orange Sirocco of Trevor Hutchings.
Trevor, yeah.
Vance Kearney in the Jetta, the Camel Jetta, is in the pit lane. So I don't know if he's going to be a pit lane starter or a non-starter. We'll have to find out shortly.
Well, if he does start, he will be a pit lane starter. I can see the car out the commentary box window rolling down towards the pit lane exit. They will not allow him to go out onto the track now. So he will have to start at the pit lane. The marshals are waiting for him. So once the entire Laude Classic Car field has rolled through, then they will release Vance Kearney out onto the circuit.
Yeah, he will be a pit lane starter. I think it's just confirmed now that the Jetta of Vance Kearney, the man all the way from the UK, will be starting in the pit lane. But they all gingerly make their way through. There's the Adrian Bogart Ford Fairlane as well. And hopefully he can keep that in a straight line for the race. I know those American cars are something to handle.
So the Renault Triber leads them up the Tygerberg Straight. I think, Byron, this class, the Laude Classic cars, is the car category that's had the most entries for today's race event. So well done to the committee there of the Laude-sponsored Classic cars.
Yeah, they are coming through now. Once again, the Morris Minor in there. That was is being campaigned. Of course, by Anton Rolino. Martin Bench in his Ford Capri. Hutchings, Trevor Hutchings, number 71, back of the grid. Because Mount Carstens, I don't see him out there. He was parked at turn 5 earlier on. So, Jonathan Gunn, who I affectionately know, Johnny Gunn, is in 24th position. And he's looking to fight his way through a field. So a pair of Siroccos ready to go.
Now, looking through the field, and you mentioned Mel Carstens. Well, I can quite safely say that Ford Cortina is not out on circuit. So whatever problem Melt had in race 1, it has kept him off the circuit for the second race of the day. So the Laude Classic cars working down into turn number 5, into Perdamina Fostron, and then the safety car will peel off. And then it will be in the capable hands of Franco Donadio.
Yep, Donadio, winner in race 1. Had a good battle in the early part of the first race with those two Mustangs and then got away from them. But, as Frankie mentioned, quite a field of cars we've had for the Classics. The Renault will pull into pit lane. And now Donadio will regulate the pace now. Itchy trigger finger, or foot you could say. We go right about now. As the Angry Hive makes its way to turn 1, it's going to be the Mustang of Hitchcock that will poke the nose ahead on the outside in turn 1. They'll be side by side, him and the escort of Donadio, but he'll have the inside line for turn 2. Watch out for Neerfeling. He's in 3rd position, but earlier on the brakes for Hitchcock and later on the brakes there for Donadio. Make sure that he takes the lead at turn 2.
So watch out there for Franco Donadio. He's got those two V8 Ford Mustangs right in there behind him as they make their way through turn 3 interceptor corner. He will know that between 4 and 5, between Saddle Sweep and Fostron, he's going to have to try and get the edge on these V8s, because these Ford Mustangs will come after him when they do head down towards 5, towards Fostron. So here he goes, down the back main, and here come the Mustangs. Here come the Ford Mustangs, and he's going to hope that he's going to just be able to hold on to them, and he's going to do that. He's going to hold on to them, Byron, into a turn number 5, into Fostron corner. Now, that's only part of the hard work, because now you must stay ahead of them up the main straight into turn 1. That's going to be another difficult task to do.
Oh, here we go now, Frankie. He'll go on the defensive line over here, but what happens is he'll brake later than the Mustang ahead of him. You'll just see him shoot forward over here. Donadio carries quite a bit of momentum, but he'll have to do second position for now. Watch him into turn 2, though. That's where he makes most of his damage over here. That's where he does most of his damage, rather. But here comes Neerfeling on the outside, and they'll be side by side, and I think that Donadio might just poke the nose ahead. Not quite. It's still going to be Hitchcock for now, Frankie, as they come out of turn 2.
What a dice there. Into turn number 3 they go. Not too far behind them is Andrew Honeywell, then Fadi Maton, then the Datsun Sabat Skyline of Jared Evans as they exit at turn number 3, followed there by Bruce Evan Taplin as these threesome, the two Mustangs and the Escort, work their way down the back straight.
Try and pick up some of the other positions as well here. Now the slipstream that Neerfeling is in of Hitchcock. He will now look right behind the pair ahead of him. He goes on the outside into turn 5, Pertamina Fastron. They'll run out. Donadio leads once again from Hitchcock and Neerfeling. Andrew Honeywell will lead currently the Class B section of this race ahead of Fadi Maton. But this is where it's all happening at the moment. Look at the slipstreaming that's going on over here as Neerfeling. Oh, a twitch there from that number 777 Mustang into third place. He'll go. Donadio will hold second.
But Franco Donadio making his way out of turn number 1. He's going to have a go now at Hitchcock as they race into turn number 2. That's a lovely fight, but you've got to go a bit further downfield because there's lots of battles happening all over the place, working their way out of turn number 1, heading up towards turn 2. There's another fight, and Bruce Evan Taplin is in there. Wayne Nell is in that fight, followed there by Brian Evans, Dion Conradi, and then Malcolm Aiton Bogard in that fair lane, sitting there on the outside of Herman de Kock, and Lane Hutchings in that fight as well. And off the circuit goes Malcolm Aiton Bogard, trying just a little bit too hard, and he's going to be caught there now by the Sirocco of Trevor Hutchings.
Yeah, Trevor Hutchings right from the back of the grid, Frankie, and up now into 12th position for that Sirocco over there, joining the other gaggle of Class C cars, which is being led now by Nell in that Ford Anglia, ahead of Evans by 1.1 seconds. Conradi, third in class, ahead of Herman de Kock. That's the 4 over there. Meanwhile, Lane Hutchings, we have to watch out for where he is at the moment. He's currently in 13th. Sorry, Trevor Hutchings in 15th at the moment.
So get back to the leaders that's making their way out of turn number 1. And I'll tell you what, these two Ford Mustangs have now got their nose ahead of the Ford Escort as they head towards turn number 2. And it is Michael Hitchcock ahead of Arnold Neerfeling, followed by Franco Donadio, and now working their way towards turn 2 is the Mustang and the Skyline. That is Fadi Matona Jr. And right on his case into turn number 2, we have got the Datsun Skyline, the Sabat Skyline of Jared Evans. And he is that 6-cylinder. Just doesn't have the legs to stay there with the V8, but he's right there with him though as they work their way out of interceptor corner.
Well, onto the Tigerberg straight. They will then run and then through into the turn 4 saddle sweep section. The two Mustangs are having a battle royal over here on the outside of Hitchcock into turn 5. Neerfeling goes around, but he will not make it work over there. He'll have to hold second for this time being. Hitchcock will get the nose ahead there in his Mustang. How long though? Here comes Neerfeling out of the kink, and now across the line. He will then run. The 777 leads for the first time in this race into turn 1.
Yeah, that is Arnold Neerfeling that leads. They're going into turn number 1, followed by Hitchcock. Michael in that second position, and then Franco Donadio in that third place as they work their way up towards turn number 2. Heading towards turn 1 now is Fadi Maton in the other V8 Mustang, and then the Sabat Datsun Skyline of right in there behind him of Jared Evans. And Byron, while we're talking, I've noticed that Vance Kearney for a good couple of laps has parked the Sirocco Achalai, the Jetta 1, on the inside exit of turn 3. So that's all over, and he was a pit lane starter.
That's unfortunate for Vance Kearney, and yeah, he's going to have an early shower, I can tell you that much. No showers much around there, I guess, but Neerfeling will still lead the way though. We have 4 laps left to go. The fastest lap is a 1:22.936 by number 67, Michael Hitchcock. Those two ahead of the field are still 0.3 of a second between the two of them. We wait for them to come out now. Look at this. This is the Ferdy Mouton and Jared Evans battle. And that Skyline is trying to get into the slipstream over there of that Mustang in front to try and get close enough. But I don't think he has it. I think that V8 just has the legs, like you say, Frankie.
Yeah, just well, it will have the legs because it's a heck of a lot more quicker and powerful than the 6-cylinder. But that Skyline will not give up. Evans will not give up neither. Heading down into turn 5 now into Fostron. We're going to pick up some of the other cars that's working their way out of turn 5 because there's lots of other race cars out on the circuit. Bruce Van Taplin heading towards the bridge, and then right behind him is Wynand Nel, and Wynand Nel has got Brian Evans right there with him, followed by Dion Conradi as the three of them make their way into turn 1.
Yeah, Lane Hutchings comes across the line now, and that will be in the 10th position at the moment. He was having handling problems in race 1, had to try and sort that out in the lunch break as well, just before the lunch break, and then is now well and truly back up and running over here. I don't know if that's too much to his handling, but anyway, we'll see now that he's ahead of Herman de Kock and ahead there of his dad in the Sirocco. Trevor Hutchings is ahead there of still the Ford Fairlane that's going around of Aiton Bogart and then Martin Bench himself. 3 laps left to go, Frankie. It's going to turn now into 2.
Well, here the leaders come. Here they come under the city of Cape Town Bridge, working their way into turn number 1. And you can quite safely say that those 2 V8 Ford Mustangs have now pulled away from the Franco Donadio, but yet he sits in P3 as the exit 1, and any mistake by either Neerfeling or Hitchcock, and he surely will dive through and take up a position as they work their way out of turn number 2. So where's that fight a bit further down? Yeah, that one goes into turn number 1, and that's the one between Fadi Maton in the Mustang and then that Sabat Skyline of Jared Evans, who's right on his back bumper as they work their way out of turn number 1. Evans had a look on the outside, and Jared decides to pull in there behind him as they work towards turn 2.
Well, this is the penultimate lap as we're talking now. We will see our leaders coming down the back straight now. The 777 Mustang of Arnold Neerfeling into turn 5. He'll be coming. Blue flags will be waving in that section. They are lapping a number of runners over here. Just want to take a look down the field. The Datsun 240Z of Andre or Delaporte is down there. And now coming to complete the penultimate lap and start the final lap of this race, Frankie.
I just picked up that Martin Bench has pulled the Capri into a pit lane, so that's the end of that for the number 16 Capri of Martin Bench. But yeah, we have just started our last lap, and the leaders are making their way out of turn number 1. As a matter of fact, they're heading towards turn 2 right now, And Neefling has got a sizable gap over. Where has Hitchcock disappeared to? There he comes out of turn one now. So Hitchcock had a moment out there. He's going pretty slow. He sits in that third position. He's got a problem of some sort, has Michael Hitchcock. That means that Donadio has been promoted up to P2 as they work their way out of turn four. Saddle sweep.
Yeah, and that also means as well that Jared Evans, who was battling it out with Mouton, will be actually up into third position overall. He is, though, the leader of Class X for new driver car combinations. Now, we wait for that Mustang coming down now to take a very well-deserved victory. Arnold Neerfeling, Class D winner it will be, and the overall winner today. Rowley will not be passed over here, the little Beetle, and will complete another lap. Neerfeling wins. Donadio will take second. A win and a second. That's something to write home about, definitely. Usually used to 2 wins, but anyway. Piet Mathieu finishes a lap down, 17th. The Datsun coming through here as well, of Della Porte. He comes through to complete his race, but here comes now the battle coming towards us, Frankie.
Yeah, and I don't see Michael Hitchcock out there because here comes a Skyline. That's got its nose ahead there of that other Mustang. It's Jared Evans that finishes there ahead of Fadi Mouton. And here comes Hitchcock across the line only now. Yeah, that's a ailing number 67 Ford Mustang that finishes his race on the lead lap, but way down. Now, heading towards the flag, it's a 3-way dice. Bruce Taplin from Brian Evans from Wynand Nel. Make it a 4-way dice because Dion Conradi joins them as they head towards a checkered flag, followed here by Lane Hutchings, and right behind him is his dad, Trevor. And then we have got Herman de Kock finishing his race, and behind him that V8 Ford Fairlane of Malcolm Aiton Bogard.
Makes it to the end after a few difficulties, but we have Dave Rowley, the little Beetle, coming through here in the Golf colours. Will round it all off in 14th.
I'll tell you what, every time you see that Beetle of Dave Rowley, it goes quicker, it goes better, it handles more. Should I say it handles even better every time because they work on that car basically all the time. So yeah, and I think he might have been the last car on the lead lap as well, Rowley. Yes, he was.
Yeah, he just got through.
In P14, he was the last driver on the lead lap.
And second in Class D as well.
Fantastic. Right, so that brings us now to 2 more races to go.